Hello, everyone. I welcome everyone in today's webinar. And the theme, we are going to unfold the theme on our nurses, our future. I think it is very joyful and the happiness event or the opportunity when you look at the heroes. The heroes are none other but our nurses across the globe. I think the real barriers are nothing but our nursing heroes who strive to make their lives for and dedicate their lives for the others. That's how they are very common and very ordinary people among everybody, but they themselves make the state of extraordinary state and they become and they are called as nursing heroes. They are none other are doctors and nursing special heroes in the healthcare system. Today, we are going to unfold the theme on our nurses, our future. Let me take you all to the discussion. Anybody, my medical administrator or any of my peer colleague, nursing leaders who wishes to participate in the decision or as a panel expert or they can provide their suggestion by using the Zoom link. And I kindly request everybody to unmute the video and unmute the audio and please keep your phone on the switch mode. That's how we welcome. Let me take you all to the discussion and unfold the theme on our nurses, our future. Before that, let me welcome the superhero who we have today in this session is none other, Miss Josephine Cyrill, Madam, who is our superhero, and I appreciate and thankful to her that out of her very busy schedule, prior one day to the nurses day, she could get some time for us to diffuse little of her insight to this forum. Thank you so much. I welcome you, ma'am, here. And
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. This is Shanti. I welcome again everybody. And let me introduce our superhero who is our panel expertise. Madam Josephine has got 34 years of direct nursing administration. She is AIMS graduate holding MBA, master's degree. She is ISO auditor as well as she is a green belt holder in Six Sigma. And let us see the accreditation feather she has for the NABH forum. She's a principal, one of the principal assessor, and she's got this achievement in 2018. From then, not from then, earlier also she has participated in very national and international forum as a speaker, panel expertise, and decision maker. She, under her magnificent and marvelous leadership, she has accredited and provided the accreditation, mentored as a patron for nursing excellency for the NABH and for the JCI. She is a very active jury and executive member of ANEI and the head of Haryana chapter. Her contribution towards many of the nursing modules and apps, one of the very best app is nursing documentation process in one of the hospital. And also she has done her lot of publishment on the infection prevention and the control measures. And we are having the second edition in the present era. I welcome you, ma'am. Thank you. So if I start the diffusing on the nurses, our nurses, our future. I think, ma'am, you also must be aware now. Past 6 to 7 years, we could see the International Nursing Forum and WHO guidelines, which is declaring and publishing about only nurses' vision and the lead towards the same. I think they have to contribute now this time to the global health because healthcare demands are growing. So the declaration which I was looking at the blog, which is declared by Elizabeth Airo, who is a very active WHO Joint Secretary, and she herself is a member and Chief Nursing Officer. Not to say that we have also seen the contribution of our founder lady, who is Florence Nightingale. And tomorrow, the remarkable day where we always, remember her contribution and lot of dedications, what she has guided through upon. Now, The publishment which I was going through, and everybody is also facing the current nursing shortages in India, not only India, at international level and globally also it is happening. So ma'am, what is your insight on emerging with the emerging shortages and attritions? You think the deriving this quality of care towards the patient care would be very, not challengeable enough to the nursing community or the nurses, because they are now graduated, they are taking a lot of specialization, so they will be doing good enough. So what is your insight upon this, ma'am?
Thank you, Shanti. To begin with, a very important question you have put to me. See, you look at the world scenario, all of us know that healthcare is changing. It is becoming more complex. We had recently the pandemic, just recovering from the pandemic, and the trauma of pandemic, psychological, physical, is still with us. And then increasing nursing shortage is a huge, huge challenge in front of all of us, especially in nursing administration, the policy administrators. It is not only nursing, the entire hospital administration goes through the stress if they do not have adequate number of good quality nurses. And today, if you look at, Dr. Cyprian, Pamela Cipriano, she has very clearly in her, I had gone through some of her statements and I read, you have to look at, when you think of nursing shortage, you have to think of nursing profession and healthcare challenges. We are interlinked. The profession cannot stand out. We are in the healthcare industry, both are interlinked. Now, you rightly said we are supposed to deliver quality care, which we did during the pandemic, after the pandemic, and we expect to do that. As per WHO standards, we should have at least 3 nurses per 1,000. In India, as on date, we have 1.7. Some data says 1.9, 1.96, but we are still far below the required numbers. On an average, in a year, we have, if you look at TNA calculation, we have almost 2 lakh nurses passing out. Now, the latest statistic shows that with all these European recruitments have increased lately, 30 to 40, 40 to 50% of nurses are migrating abroad per annum. So we have a huge shortage, and next year by 2024 end, we require, as per the studies, because there is another, change, another movement that has happened, studying all the shortages, is nurse midwife for change. They also went through all these nursing shortages, and they are also telling 4.34 million nurses will require by the end of next. So nursing shortage that is for India. So nursing shortage is hugely felt now itself in India, and it is going to increase. And it is not only in India, in abroad, globally also that is felt. Next 10 years time, around 17% of nurses will retire from their profession. So the senior nurses with so much of experience, they are going to retire. And there are many years, unless we publicize this profession more, unless people value this profession and respect the not that giving this profession. So there is a huge imbalance that is happening. So as nursing administrators and even for the policymakers, public heads, we have to promote this profession to a larger extent through social media, through other informative materials available, so that more and more young professionals, male or female, will come into this job, learn that this beautiful profession, this shortages can be handled. Currently, it is felt and it is going to continue. And it will certainly affect quality of care. So we have to sit on top of it. We have to work hard towards it. I just explained you what's the scenario now and what is being predicted for coming years.
Well said, ma'am. I appreciate your insight on the same. I think globally, everybody, all policymakers, hospital administrators, public system, Everybody knows that now we are facing the crunch of nursing shortages. Having said so, I think one of the very key performance indicator which all nursing administrators faces are retention strategies. How do you, what is your take on this? Because making me, this word is making me smile because I think, yes, we are getting a lot of help from management, the directors, and everybody else. But what is our retention strategies? Sometimes I think I need to just categorize them in with reason strategies of retention, no reason, and there is no statement at all why nurses are leaving. Yes, of course, when you said 50% of nurses who moving and migrated to the abroad. So I would like to even understand from the North region, like maybe at your facility, what is your retention strategies or protocol? Where I'm not here, my true submission that I don't want to understand the percentage, but what is your retention strategies on the same, ma'am?
See, I'm proud to say that, and I thank God here. You know, our hospital is among all the private hospitals in the country is an exception. That our attrition is the highest is 1.2 this year. So the attrition is on an average way less than 1% at Gangaram Hospital, where I am working currently. But overall, if you look at in and around, you can see it varies from 20 to 40%. Some hospitals even beyond that. Now, what are the strategies we have in place? I will tell you, because you know that is very, very important. Number one thing, when you know that attrition will happen. In one hospital where I studied, on an average, nurses, I did it as a study because I had huge attrition, and I studied on an average. In the study, I found nurses left within 2 years. So you can say within 2 years, generally the young nurses leave the hospital.
Yes.
So the most important thing is taking nurses on board. You choose the right talent on board. Selection of nurses has to be a very thoughtfully done activity. Means there has to be meticulously, very thoughtfully prepared questions so that they can clear screening tests, proper interviews, selecting the right people on board. Now, once you are on board, the efforts what we need to put in place begins from then itself. When a new joinee is in place, the new recruiters, how we welcome, they feel that they have come into the right place, whether they are going to stay with us 1 year or 10 years. So warm welcome includes a very good, well-planned orientation and followed by a good, if they do not have many of the hospitals nurses who are passed out from the school or college, but they do not have the valid registration. I'm waiting for it. Treat them as trainees and put them through good training, like a novice training, or you can plan for school training. They have finished their school, college, they are ready to receive their registration. You plan a very interesting training for them, especially when many of these nurses had not the kind of training we all went through due to circumstances. But now they are all getting well trained. But the nurses come on board, we put them through proper planned training. Many hospitals are doing that. Well-designed nurse induction, not just for the sake of induction. Posting the nurses, if they have a specific request, they want to learn something specific, though it is not possible, how we can do it, we can help them. Another strategy is internal rotation. Suppose X person has worked in one place for 3 years, 4 years, 2 years. She wants to gain a different experience. We need to consider that. Encourage specialty-wise specialized training programs. And the most important thing, nurses will come to nurse administrators with their problems. Of you doing everything. They have personal problems. They have relationship problems. They have workplace adjustment problems. they have difficulty in adjusting to the technology. Maybe they have come from a small setup. Now they have to adjust to a bigger setup.
Yes.
They may not be able to cope up with the acuity of the illness. Maybe I worked in a small clinic, small place. Now here the are, very complex cases. Acuity of the illness is very, critical in nature. You have to raise your competency to that level. So we have to be there to guide them and support them than finding their faults. And a culture in the nursing department. Yes, culture is, they can walk to your office and tell anything, good or bad, what they need, they felt. So if they feel there is a listening ear and there is rewards and recognition, appreciation, and continuous training and giving them the opportunity to professionally grow, I can tell you many times it is not the money that, that is, that is the base for people leaving the organization. If the environment is not, learning and atmosphere is not that great, people leave the organization. So there are two types now. India means a brain drain. People leave from one organization to other within the country, or they leave from going abroad. So these two can be prevented by good implementation of all these factors. That's the way we try to lead. And
So
we have good retention.
Yes, having said your statement in the same, I think the hospitals, in terms of the shortages, I think we are good that we have a lot of our own colleges and schools where we are not, we in well advance, we prepare our contingency plan because they always come for the clinical hours and they are the pass out batches. So maybe we are very privileged, Yashoda and or Sir Gangaram Hospital and everybody and every hospital like metropolitan and cosmopolitan sectors, the healthcare system. But I'm just worried about the hospitals where these colleges and school support is not there. I think those hospitals are maybe till date, they're striving to deliver the quality care. Having said so, as you said, induction handhold training before they get brain drain. So even we run the OSCE method, which is nothing but our objective structured clinical examination modules for the inductions, especially separate for the ICU and separate for the ward girls, ward posted. And as you said, rightly, work culture and workplace evaluation and support from the nursing team. I appreciate your insight on the same. Having said so, the nursing informatics on the maybe CPOE or the medication records, automated ones, or the enhanced vital monitoring system, where I think the nurses now second hour leave the patient, sometimes due to the affordability. Patient also are admitted in the rooms and where nurses are asked to monitor 1:1. I think with the role of AI, which is artificial intelligence, and the nursing education and these nursing informatics, will this also enhance the job evaluation in fourth, 5 years, a decade or more so on? What is your take on this scene?
Very, very, very important, because recently I had the opportunity to be a speaker in a national conference. And I was lucky that I could listen to an expert speaking on artificial intelligence. This happened just recently, few days back. So talking about informatics, today nurses, I can say they are, especially the young nurses, they are so good at it. They're so good at it. So I remember when I worked in one of my last hospital where hospital information system started. Initially, we all felt, oh my God, it's going to be very tough. But I tell you, nurses mastered it so well, so fast. I remember I was talking to them, during rounds, and they say, ma'am, in 5 to 10 minutes, our documentation is over. They were so happy about it. Every assessment monitoring, because today, our assessment, if you are an ABH or JC accredited, it is all measurable. Everything is, whether it is a GC scale or a pain assessment score or a fault risk score, it's all tabulated. You need to just drop down and add it. They say it's all done in few minutes, in few seconds sometime. So you need to assess the patient, come back, and everything is drop down, assess. I find it's all on the fingertips today. So in the one of the last hospital where I worked, we even start using mobiles for documenting the patient parameters. You go to the patient side, bedside, you evaluate everything. You have 5 patients or 2 patients or 1 patient. Immediately you can enter in your smartphone using your password, and that gets captured in the main computer, the database. So you don't need to move from one place to other to document like we normally do, going to the nursing counter or to another area to enter the data. At bedside, you can do, which is a lot of and energy is saved. Now, intent, stock management, meticulous inventory management, discharge process like return of items, everything you can do through informatics so well. And nurses are quite comfortable with it. I don't find even audit. If you want to audit of any documentation, whether a case-specific nursing assessment is done and a disease-specific nursing plan is, planned and implemented, outcome measured, all such things can be measured through system, and your audit analysis can be done on things through papers and putting all the paper documentation together, tabulating. That takes a lot of your time. I think time has come for informatics to go a long way, and our nurses will excel in that. Even today, you were talking about early warning signs. We had an app, the main control nurse counter, and the nurses had one in their pocket, one application in the pocket, and one at the bedside. So whenever patient's heart rate, patient saturation, anything dips, vital parameters, it's all adjusted and limits are set. What you have set, the alarm will ring even when a patient moves out of bed. The alarm will ring. Then when my pager will ring and I am occupied with another patient, it goes to the next patient and then the next, and it comes to the nursing in charge of that shift directly, so that the patient care is immediately taken care and no such warning will go unattended. So I think this is all connected to, and it is fall injury, timely early warning sign or a patient concern. So lot many things can be handled, and that will prevent unnecessary detect early warning sign and lose. That will be a study from that. Yes. Documentation time we could save. Nursing shortage could be handled in this. I think that is the time has come for informatics.
Yes,
and we will excel in that. We are already doing it.
Yes. Before, I think 10 years back, we didn't have something called COW, computer on wheels. Now I see nurses, even in our setup, in our Yashoda setup, we have COW even in the OT, which always measure and diamond, tell about your sign in and sign out, right from the patient is wheeling into the operation theater. And something like Kaho, when I was just attending this conference, I've seen the AI called Josie, which is nothing but an enhanced complete vital monitoring system, which will not even allow you to manipulate the data. And so do the cardiac arrest preventions will be better at ward level facility. Thank you so much, Onset. So there was again one debate on male nurses will be entering more in the system. And I still want to just understand what could be the benchmark or percentage of male nurses coming and working in the hospital setup. Because already, because of the shortages, and WHO also has declared male nurses are also taking a lot of bachelorette degrees and becoming a registered nurse, not in India, even in overseas. So I don't think there is a problem with the male nurses. But what is your insight? Should we also, think strengthening their potentials in the healthcare system as well?
See, I can proudly say that throughout my career, except my experience in this place, the current appointment, yes, I had the privilege to recruit, train, and appoint male brothers. Yes. And I had 40-60 ratio, 40% male nurses, 60% female nurses. And where all I worked, all were JC accredited, NABH accredited, large organizations with nursing excellence.
And
I did not find any difficulty.
yes, yes,
And they are very, very good, very committed. It is how you groom and how you train. They participate in all the activities, just like how we female nurses do.
yes,
The only challenge, what I say is when it comes to specific procedures for the female patients,
yes,
like a post-delivery patient, a postnatal mother who is needing privacy, or an antenatal mother. So certain areas and certain activities, they may not be comfortable. Female nurses have to be there or they have to be present. Otherwise, patients are quite comfortable, and male nurses do take interest in learning. They are excellent in handling medical emergencies. They also understand they are side, they learn the language fast, especially when you medical tourism, you have international patients coming in. They can travel for treating patients whole countries more comfortably than us, to air travel so that the patient can be transported back to an host country. Air ambulances, road ambulances, all such services, even to attend an ambulance call.
There is some technical glitch, ma'am. Ma'am got disconnected.
okay. So having said so, I think we are already almost, we have covered all the session. The declaration for the Nurses Day, and I think the futuristic nursing vision is nurses should pursue a lot of distant education because they're already working to support their economy, and they should be specialized in taking a lot of specializations. More healthcare nurses will be in demand, more geriatric nurses will be also in demand. Having said so, I think we just lost Josephine Madam's connect, but I really wish to thank her. And my vote of message to all the nurses across the globe, Happy Nurses Day. I know you're the front line warriors, and your service, your dedication, and your great work to the human mankind is appreciated at very larger scale. As you may be aware about the Yashoda management, also that our management, our directors are very supportive, not only in terms of nursing budget, but they are always the front line for the push factors for the nurses. Though you talk about any professional advancement, academic advancement, or any nursing welfare, or any sort of any help, they are always there. I wish you all very happy Nurses Day, and be safe, rock. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ma'am,
Happy Nurses Day wishes in advance. Thank
sorry,
you.
ma'am, we got you. Please provide a vote of gratitude to the nurses across. That will be very great. And then we'll be ending the session.
Thank you. So let me congratulate all nurses out there who are listening to us. That's my main message. And time has come for all of us to focus on things. Number one, the most important thing is all of us need to educate ourselves and keep upgrading ourselves. It is not necessary we need degrees and degrees. Come for workshop or a conference or a webinar or to read something, don't miss the opportunity.
Yes.
For nurse practitioners, I was reading the whole world nurse practitioners will be 30 to 40%.
Yes.
Even India, that has so the time about nurse being invisible. Very general, more we have to excel in that and become a true leader who will be focused on employee development and taking care of our patients with the holistic.
Thank you, ma'am. And my last token of condolence and the big salute to the nurses who served their lives while serving the COVID patients. May God bless them with their family members with loads of strength to bear this grief. And thank you, nurses. You all are very great. And do deliver the quality care to the patients. That is only the aim and motto of the nursing vision. Thank you so much.